Hi guys, I'm Lauren from the Kershaw County Library, and I am here out and about in Kershaw County with Hannah.
Hi.
Hannah is the bookmobile librarian, and as I said, we're out and about in the little library book van. You can see we have our books out here on the table. We're waiting for people to come by and check out some books here. Anyway, today we are little explorers, and I'm going to read a couple of books for you and tell you about an artist named Bob Ross, who unfortunately is no longer with us, but he was a great artist and a great teacher. So we're actually filming on the very first day of school. Bob Ross has something to teach you. Want to see his books? This is called Bob Ross and Peapod the Squirrel. It's actually not by him, but it's about him. This is by Rob Perlman and illustrated by Rob Ross. So we're going to learn a little bit about painting and colors today. You think you know your colors? I'm sure you do. Now let's see what Bob Ross has to say about color. My little squirrel friend, Peapod, needs a new home. He keeps dropping pepperoni in my hair. Uh-oh. See? But we looked high and low, and we can't find the right one. I can't find the right home. Wait, I have an idea. Now then, let's have some fun. What's he doing? I think he's about maybe to paint something. We'll use blue to paint the sky. Okay. And then we'll use white to make happy little clouds that just float around and have fun all day. Look, you see his palette here? These are all the colors he's going to use today. There's that white. See how his clouds come out in his painting already just by dabbing some white there? We can use a painting knife too. See here? Which is like a regular knife, but you use it to paint, not to make sandwiches. We use the knife to spread a mix of blue and brown and crimson to make mountaintops. Blue, brown, crimson. What color is that? How do you know it? Red? Yeah. Then we use a paintbrush to make the mountain bottoms. It's just that easy. Peapod likes to ski, so let's add some snow for him. Oh no! There's nowhere for Peapod to go! Uh-oh! What's he gonna do? Let's use green and blue to paint a meadow before he gets to the bottom. Phew! Peapod's quick stop made some of the paint go splat. Oops. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what's he gonna do now? Well, that was a happy accident. Don't worry, Peapod. We can do whatever we like in our world. Is he making his own world right here in his painting? Look how pretty it looks. Got mountains and clouds. And what did he do with those splotches of green and blue? What do you see here now? Trees. Let's use even more green and blue and some brown and even some yellow to paint a whole forest of trees and bushes. See how they added yellow? And look here, a little bit of orange, a little bit of brown. Here's your bravery test, Peapod. Add more blue. And now, there's what? A pond. Isn't that fantastic? I knew you could do it. How about a few more trees and bushes and grassy things? Let's just look at that and enjoy it. See how pretty? I think we're finished, don't you? Now this is a home for my little squirrel friend, Peapod. Look, he was able to paint his own place. And not a bad spot for me too. Happy painting. The end. And if you want to try to do that, the book gives us exactly what we need to make that happen. And that's the end of the book. Now, that's the beauty of Bob Ross. He's teaching us how to make that painting. So in a little bit, if you have some of those supplies, let's pull them out. Let's see what we can do. But I do have one more story I want to read for you. So I'm back at the library now, and I've pulled together some of the paints that he was talking about in his book. Have you? See my paints? I even decided to cut out a palette for myself. See? I'm going to put my dab colors of my paints on here so I can use them to create my own painting a little bit later on. For right now, I want to read to you Bob Ross's My First Book of Colors by Rob Perlman, illustrated by Bob Ross. You'd think that I should have read this one first, but you're going to hear that his idea of the colors might be a little bit different from what you call them. Let's see what happens. Look at that beautiful picture. This is your world. Let's start out with Indian yellow. Just a tiny little touch. And let's put a sun in the sky. See that? Indian yellow, he calls it. Use titanium white for the tops of snowy mountains. Your dreams come real here. Titanium white. Dab a tiny touch of bright red, just enough to give it a pinkish glow. Bright red. Pretty, huh? Take alizarin crimson and phthalo blue. Mix them together and make lavender. Add some midnight black for shadows, because you have to have dark in order to show light. You can create all kinds of beautiful effects. It's just that easy. Alizarin crimson and phthalo blue. Midnight black. I think it's time we had some fun now. Use Van Dyke brown for some happy little trunks that were bent when a moose came along and stepped on them. Van Dyke brown for the trunks. What's a trunk? Is it the tree trunk? But he said the moose stepped on them. So I'm thinking maybe, see this little trunk? Maybe that's what he means. Okay. Let's get into the sap green for the leaves. Look at that tree. That tree's made of sap green with a little bit of blue in it. This sap green with a little bit of blue. Now let's highlight those little trees with yellow ochre. and a touch of bright red mixed in. Want to see? Right here. Bright red will give you that orangish look. Did you ever think you could just take a great big old brush and make all these beautiful little trees? We're going to try. You can build anything you want here. Mix Prussian blue and phthalo green for water. Add some more blue over here to make this pond just a little bit deeper for the trout to live in. See the picture? Here's your blue pond. Set a little rock here, just Van Dyke brown with a bit of dark sienna in it. Set a little rock here. Dark sienna and Van Dyke brown. And then put highlights on it of the same color. Dark sienna with a little bit of cadmium yellow here and there. Cadmium yellow. Maybe some yellow up in the brown rocks too. What about up here? By blending colors, you get a multitude of different ones. Put some excitement in your world. Isn't that pretty? I think I especially like the pinkish. How are you going to get that? Mixing bright red. Shall we try? These are the 13 colors we work with every week. He's got them all listed right here. I look forward to seeing you again. Happy painting, he says. And this is Mr. Bob Ross. Mr. Bob Ross with his palette. Here. And notice he's squeezing some paint onto his palette. So, I think we should try our own painting. Let's see. Are you ready to paint your world? Here are the rest of my supplies, the paintbrushes and the paper. And you remember the palette? I have filled it with white and green and blue and red and black and yellow. So let's get started on the sky. Load up your paintbrush with some blue and add a little bit of green in there. And then I want you to paint across the top of the paper in long horizontal strokes, just like I'm doing. That's going to be our sky. If you need more paint, load up your paintbrush again and keep going. Now it's time for the clouds. What color do we need for clouds? White, yes, you're right. Okay, so I am using the largest paintbrush that I have. If you have a large paintbrush, use it. If you don't, just use what you have. But I am making little circles with my hand to make my clouds look kind of round. But some of them are looking a little like streaks. So you can change the look of your clouds very easily by changing how you move your hand. I'm still working on clouds. Right here, I took a dry paintbrush and I'm just kind of mushing all the paint together so that it looks a little bit fluffy and not quite solid color white. Here I'm mixing just about all of the colors together on the palette to make a rock. Now it's tree time. I'm going to work on this a little bit more, just like I know you're doing. When you're done, send me a picture of your work. I'd love to see it. Here is my completed painting. The second one I did. This one is like the very first one I've ever done. Thanks for watching, everybody. Join us next month on October 9th for Fizzy Blocks and Waterfalls. I think you'll have a good time. For right now, as Bob Ross says, happy painting.